Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Gaska and welcome back to I Could Do That DIY for another doll repaint video. Today I'm going to be customizing Honey, the doll that I designed and created myself. This project is very nostalgic for me. I love video games. I've been playing them for many years. I've had a Nintendo console pretty much the whole time I've been playing video games. And with that being said, of course I'm a huge fan of Mario and more specifically Princess Peach. Obviously, she's my character in Mario Kart my husband and I play all the time. I'm so excited for the new movie that's coming out. I'm definitely seeing it in theaters. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Today we're transforming Honey into Princess Peach. Now let's get started. For the face today, we'll be using Muffin. Previously I used the Muffin face for Melanie, the watermelon girl. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. As usual, I'll be using my watercolor pencils to mark out the basic layout of the eye. While I do that, I just have to say thank you so much for watching and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Also make sure to hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects. Also make sure to follow my Instagram accounts. The Honey Doll Instagram will have updates on how to get your very own honey very soon. Once I'm happy with the eye design for one side, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll use my light pink watercolor pencil to fill in the waterline. Alright, next I'll use my light pink pastel to blush the face. Once I'm happy with the amount of work I've done so far, I'll seal it all in with a layer of Mr. Super Clear. This acts as a sort of save feature for my work so it doesn't get messed up. I'll wait 30 minutes between each layer of Mr. Super Clear. On the next layer, I'll use a black watercolor pencil to fill in the eyeliner. After that's all filled in, I'll sharpen the pencil and start working on the lower eyelashes. I'll start at the outside and work my way in. Of course I'll use my eraser to refine and correct as I go. Once I'm happy with how this side looks, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Next I'll add some more color to the lip and to the eye with my magenta pastel. Alright, awesome! Now using some watered down black acrylic paint, I'm going to paint over the eyeliner. This will make it nice and opaque. Alright, next I'll use a white watercolor pencil to add some texture to the lip. Alright, next up is the brows. Using a yellow pastel, I'll brush on the general brow shape. Then I'll refine the shape with my eraser. Once I'm happy with the shape, I'll set it with a layer of Mr. Super Clear. After that, I'll go back to using a white watercolor pencil to add some hairs to the brows. Alright, that looks pretty good so far. But let's add some more variation to the tone with the Copper Beach watercolor pencil. Alright, that's pretty good for the face up. Now let's give her some upper eyelashes. I'll be using Kiss brand faux eyelashes for the top. I'll take one out of the package, measure it up to the eye, and cut it to length. After that, using some Elmer's glue wall, I'll apply glue to the eye and to the eyelash. Then I'll apply the eyelash and fuss with it until I'm happy with the position. Once it's all dry, I'll do the other side. Once both of them are dry, I'll add some gloss to the waterline and to the lip. Alright, next let's work on the eyes. Of course Peach has blue eyes, so we'll be painting the eyes blue. I'll start by painting the iris base a light blue. Then I'll add various tones of blue and white on top of that to give it some variation. I'll finish the eye off screen by adding the pupil and some catch lights, as well as sealing everything in with some epoxy. Alright, now let's move on to the wig. Off screen I prepped everything I needed for the wig. Here's the wig cap and the wefts. I'll be gluing everything on with some Elmer's glue wall. Alright, let's get started. I'll start at the front bottom and work my way around the base. I'll let the glue dry between each layer and work my way up. I'll cut and style the hair as I go. Of course we're going for that classic Peach hairstyle. This wig took forever, but in the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now let's move on to sewing the outfit. Of course, we're going to do a take on the classic Peach look. Off screen, I made the pattern and prepped the fabric. Let's start by sewing the bodice. I'll connect the back bodice to the front bodice at the shoulder seams. Alright, cool. Next I'll finish the neckline with a piece of lace. I'll gather it up, pin it to the neckline, and then sew it. After that's all sewn, I'll work on the sleeves. I'll start by hemming the sleeve and then gathering the top of the sleeve. Then we'll attach the sleeve to the bodice. After that, I'll gather up the bottom of the sleeve off screen and then sew the underarm. Once I sew both of the underarms, I can work on the hip poofs. I'll start by finishing the outer edge with a lining piece. I'll sew it at 1/4 inch, cut off the excess, and turn it inside out. Then I'll iron it off screen, gather the top edge, and attach it to the bodice. Now let's move on to making the skirt. I'll finish the bottom skirt edge with a piece of magenta lace. I'll start by gathering up the piece of lace, pinning it to the bottom of the skirt, and then sewing it at 1/4 inch. Then I'll press the excess up. After that, I'll finish the waist with a piece of binding. I'll sew the binding to the waist at 1/4 inch. Then I'll press up the excess, fold over the binding, and finish the binding. Then I'll weave a piece of elastic through the binding off screen. I'll cinch up the waist and finish the skirt by sewing the back seam. Alright, now that the skirt is all finished, we can work on the accessories. I 3D printed out the gem on her chest and her crown. I also designed and printed a glove. Let's start by preparing the jewel. I'm going to do a base coat of epoxy and then rub on this metallic powder. Let's just open it up. And of course, it exploded onto my hand. Awesome! I'm going to clean up my hand and just use this excess and brush it onto the jewel. I'm just going to brush it onto the border to get a nice metallic finish. Awesome, that looks really good. After that, I'll finish it with another layer of epoxy. Then I'll paint the gem blue off screen. After that, I'll add some blue glitter to the gem. To finish it off, I'll add a layer of epoxy to the center. I'll do the same process on the crown. Alright, I'm just going to finish up the crown off screen. Now let's go back to finishing up the bodice. I'll finish up the back bodice with a piece of Velcro. I'll start by folding over the excess on the back left bodice. Then I'll use some quick dry techie glue to glue it in place. Once that glue is dry, I'll use super glue to glue on the Velcro. I'll start by measuring and cutting the piece of Velcro. Then I'll add some glue to the back of it and plop it on. I'll do one side, let it dry, measure where to place the other Velcro. I use a pin to mark it, then I add some glue to the back of the other piece of Velcro and pop that on as well. After all the glue is dry, I can cut off the excess. Then we can glue the gem to the center front. I'll use some super glue on the back of the gem and stick it on. Alright, awesome, that looks great. Now let's give her some earrings. Off screen, I made earrings by painting some cabochons the same way I painted the jewel on the chest. I'm just going to glue them onto the ears with some super glue. Alright, cool. Now let's finish her up by making the gloves. Like I mentioned earlier, I designed and 3D printed these gloves. It's actually just a new version of her forearm and her hand. Now I'll be painting the glove portion white. I'll use a few layers of watered down white acrylic paint. Once the glove is completely painted, I'll protect the paint with a layer of matte epoxy. And with that, the doll's complete. So here she is, here's the finished result. I'm so happy with how she turned out, I think she looks adorable. I think Muffin was a really good choice for the face. I love her cute expression. I love all of the details, specifically I really love how the glove turned out, I think it looks really good. Also that gold mica powder that I used for the crown and the gem was really awesome. I'm really glad I tried that out. As I mentioned earlier, I love Princess Peach, she's definitely one of my favorite video game characters. I'm really happy I got the opportunity to make her. I definitely want to do more video game characters in the future, as well as some other fun variations. I love all of the Super Crown transformations like Bowsette and Boozette. I'd love to do one of those in the future as well. Please let me know what you guys think of Princess Peach in the comments below, as well as any other thoughts for future projects. I always love to hear those. Thanks again for watching, and for the rest of the video, enjoy the remainder of the photos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!